Here you'll learn about for loops in Python. You'll see how to write the code, how they work, and a real example of their use. If you want to follow along, click on the Data Lab workbook linked in the comments. Suppose you want to print the days of the week. This code works, but it's very repetitive. We want a way to get the same effect without having to write print 7 times. A for loop lets you avoid repetition by running the same chunk of code repeatedly while changing some of the values. The values to change come from elements of a list, a range of numbers, or another iterable object. I'll explain what iterable means later on. The simplest case is using a for loop to iterate over elements of a loop. Here's a list of the days of the week, named weekdays. To write a for loop, we start with the keyword for. Then we need a variable to store an element in the list. Each element represents one weekday, so I'll call it weekday. Next we use the keyword in. Fourthly, we need to include the list, weekdays. Finally, we finish the line with a colon. For weekday, in weekdays, colon. The next part is the code that we want to run. This code needs to be indented by 4 spaces. You can put any code you like here. In this case, we'll do the simplest thing, which is to print out the iterator variable. That is, we're going to print out the days of the week. To call the print function, type print, then add parentheses. In this case, DataLab has automatically added the closing parenthesis for me. Inside the parentheses, type weekday. Let's run the code. As expected, each day of the week has been printed. Let's examine what just happened. First, when the code entered the loop, weekday was set to the first element of weekdays. That is, weekday became the string Monday. Second, we ran the code to print weekday. Since weekday is Monday, that's what's printed. Now Python returns to the start of the loop. This time weekday is set to the second element of weekdays, that is, Tuesday. Again, we run the printing code, which now prints Tuesday. This continues for every element of weekdays, so we print all 7 days. Once there are no more days, the loop code stops running and Python moves on. This is known as the loop terminating. If you want to loop over numbers instead of text, you can use a range instead of a list. To create a range, you call the range function. Pass the start number, the end number, and the size of the jump. Notice that the last number isn't included in the range, so you have to make the end number bigger than the final value that you want. Let's try this in a for loop. As before, we start with the for keyword. Then we need a variable to store the individual values. For numbers, it's common to use the letter I for this. Then we write the in keyword, and then the range. We finish the line with the colon. For simplicity, like last time, we'll just print out the values. Remember to indent the print code with 4 spaces. To help me have conversations about for loops with other programmers, there are 3 pieces of jargon worth knowing. The for loop has 3 components. The iterator is the variable that changes each time. The iterable is the list or range that contains all the elements to pick from. The body is the code that runs each time. In the previous example, I is the iterator, the range is the iterable, and the print statement is the body. Let's try a more complex example, using a for loop with a dictionary. Just as a paper dictionary contains words followed by a definition of that word, Python dictionaries contain a key followed by a value for that key. In this example, details about a horror movie named Python are stored in a dictionary. The movie's keys are title, director, and so on. The movie's values are Python, Richard Klabow, etc. To use a for loop, we want the movie's items, which are pairs of each key and its corresponding value. As always, the for loop starts with for. This time we have 2 iterators, the key and the value. We separate these with a comma. We loop over items using movie.items. This is a method, so we need parentheses. Remember the colon. Now we can print the key, then an equal sign, then the value. To wrap up, let's cover a more in-depth example that involves calculations. The goal is to convert temperatures in Celsius to temperatures in Fahrenheit. We start with a range of Celsius temperatures from 0 to 100 in steps of 10. Recall that the end number needs to be higher than the final value that we want to include, so we use 101 instead of 100. Before we write the loop, we also need a variable to store the output. We'll use an empty list and fill it later. The for loop uses the same code pattern as before. For temperature C, in temperature C, colon. The body of the loop is slightly more complicated. We take the output temperatures variable, temperatures F, and append a new value. The temperature in Fahrenheit is 1.8 times the temperature in Celsius, plus 32. Finally, we print the answer. Thank you for watching. I'm Richie. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest data and AI content.